Hi all, I am back from my travels. I'm so happy to see you. Even happier to be home. As much as I love travel, there's no place like home, right? I love my life. I love my home that I've created. So I'm always as happy as I am to be out in the world and exploring and seeing new things and new places. I absolutely adore and love being home. So this is my next video. I did not film in South Africa. Unfortunately, my schedule it was nonstop. It was early into late, and by the time I was back in, I had nothing in me to give, which I'll talk about later. And I also was like dealing with some altitude sickness, which it wasn't bad. Like the first 12 hours was a little rough. Nothing horrible, just like tightness, like I couldn't breathe. I had like really weird heart palpitations. Doesn't matter because it's all neither here nor there anymore, and I got through it and all that jazz. But I wanted to come on because I got home on Monday. I had to get rerouted through, originally I was supposed to do Johannesburg, Atlanta, LaGuardia. Unfortunately, the plane incident, the very sad plane incident happened, and I had to go Johannesburg, Atlanta, Philly, and then Philly drive back. And it was fine, right? I didn't have to drive. I got to sleep, and it was good. It was just long, which is fine. Everything is easy at this point. But what I really was doing for the past few days is really trying to disconnect and pour back into myself, because for the last 3 weeks I have given my everything to everyone but me, right? Like I did go to the gym, and so that would be like my hour and 15 minutes to myself. But outside of that, you're constantly answering questions, constantly, being an ear, constantly, editing what you're saying, because you're just meeting everyone where they are, which requires you at times to be not where you are, because you need to be supportive, or what you want to give isn't what's going to help the situation. And everyone's on the road. Mostly everyone is on the road for the same 3 weeks, and they're away from their families and their lives and their routines. So there's a lot to take into consideration. And I'm also aware that I take into consideration a lot of things that the average person probably just doesn't, for various reasons. But I really took away that I need my time, and I need to enforce my boundaries and not give a fuck about it, because it seems that everybody wants what they want from you, and that they expect what they expect from you, and that's it, right? And there's no consideration for what you need, because they only really care about what they need. And someone's gonna say, oh, that's a really generalization, and it's not really. When you really think about people, places, and things and situations that you're in, most people come from a place of what's best for them. And I'm not saying that it's wrong or bad or evil or anything, it just is. So in knowing that, I decided this week to really lean into moving differently, to really reinforce my boundaries, to really, pour into myself, to really do what my body, my soul, my being needs in the moment, and not to be reactive. Because my career, and it's an amazing one, that I've built, has been because I'm phenomenal at catching things in the air and giving them a softer landing, or keeping them afloat, however you want to describe it. And there's some environments that just expect that from you 24/7 on a loop, and they just keep pushing. And that can be disguised as, I'm making you better, or I'm pushing you to the limits because I know. And all of that is, to me, is just propaganda, is just bullshit, right? Yes, okay, fine. There are moments in time where we do push each other, we push ourselves past a point that we perceive to be a limit, right? But then there comes to be a place where if you're doing that all the time, 24/7, all that's doing is creating stress, cortisol, adrenaline, things that are not needed for the task at hand, right? Like, unless you're in an ER or saving someone's life, like I think you can chill, right? Like, we can just fucking chill. So for me, this week has been great because I've been able to get back on my routine. My jet lag has been not as bad as it was coming back from Australia. I think it was because I went from Hong Kong to Singapore to South Africa, so that last little bit of a week helped me come back here much better. And I've really just been pouring into myself, right? I've had a friend that was like, oh, can you dog sit for me? And I said, no. You know, I said, I've been taking care of other people and putting people before me for the last 3 weeks. And what I don't want to do is come home and then have to repeat the same thing at a time that I should be pouring into myself and, you know, regenerating, restoring myself, right? And one of the main things that like I really missed was my routine, right? What's set up for me, the boundaries that I have in my home space because I can, right? You know, there's an on and off switch that doesn't necessarily exist when you're on the road and on the road for that long, right? When it's just a week, like it can be annoying to like not get or do what you want to do, but it's just a week, right? It's different when it's 3 weeks with nonstop, right? Like no time, no days off, nothing to yourself, except maybe a few hours, you know, in a day. Like in Singapore, I had more free time, you know, which, you know, it is what it is. So what I've been doing is I literally was just like not being responsive this week. I responded when things mattered, and then if not, I don't want to talk to anyone until it's time, right? And then even so, moving forward, I'm really just deciding, and this is into the whole arc of what am I doing, where am I going, what do I want my life to be in 3 months, 5 months, 6 months, a year, 2 years from now. And I'm cultivating those answers and having these real conversations with myself. And it's just been really interesting because there's moments where I'm like, oh yeah, I definitely, you know, enforce my boundaries and do this and this and this. And then I'll like be witnessing myself in a moment and I'm like, this is a boundary that has been crossed 20 fucking times, right? And you haven't said anything or you haven't done anything or you've just ignored it. And it's like, nope, can't do that. Calling myself out, gotta hold the line, right? For myself and for others, you know, and it's about protecting ourselves. And because burnout is real, there is literally no one on the planet that can give 24/7, 7 days a week, all the time, you know. And if you are, God bless you, but you're gonna crash and burn at some point, be it, you know, a health condition, an autoimmune disease, you know, condition, you know, sickness, illness, like mentally, like whatever it is. And I'm not wishing that on you, but it's just a fact that is what comes from overproducing and overstressing and all of that. It's just a fact. And hopefully, you know, if you don't want to believe me, that's fine, but you know, you will learn and you will see. So hopefully you don't get to that point and you find some golden nuggets in this video and you decide that I need to chill, right? And you need to put into perspective what actually matters. So a friend of mine worked for Block, and maybe friend is a loose term. She was an old coworker and I would consider us friendly, and she was a part of that big layoff. It was interesting because I was supposed to interview there, but it didn't work out. And at this point, I'm like, thank God it didn't work out, right? Because I would have, you know, been a part of that. But in the end, you know, she said she had 20 direct reports and she was always in a meeting and running to this place, running to that place, super stressed out. And then when the layoff happened and she was like, what the fuck? You know, I gave my all, I gave everything. And then you literally just, you know, cross me off a list, you know, for whatever reason, because the reasons don't matter, right? The facts are you gave everything and then they gave you not even 2 weeks, right? Or whatever they gave. And then she said, now I get to focus 100% on my business that I run with my husband. And she said, I have 4 direct reports now, and I couldn't be happier. And I listened to that and I saw her light in the video. I saw her happiness, like just her being, and it was just wonderful to see. And it also like gave me hope, you know, and inspiration to just keep pushing forward. I have no idea what I want to do next. I can see it in my eye, but I don't know how to get there because I'm so wrapped up in, you have to make this money, you have to make that, you have to like, all these stupid things that you have to do. And then some of it I'm like, do I have to? So I don't know. But seeing her joy and all of that was just really, really awesome. And it's just also a great reminder to like, I'm not killing myself for anybody. Like, no. I didn't survive cancer to become a slave to any organization, right? I didn't survive cancer to be unhappy. I didn't survive cancer to, have no boundaries and have people just think they can talk to me any kind of way or do whatever they want. No one's talking to me crazy, but I'm just throwing out, things that might connect with other people. So I think it's just important for us to always have a check-in, right? So my check-in after 3 weeks was with myself the last few days, and I saw the people I needed to see, and then I was been a recluse. And I've also realized I think I'm more of an introvert than an extrovert, and that I need to recharge after being with people. And people can be draining to me versus other people that are extroverts that get energy from being with people. And there's certain people that I am around that do that for me, or with me or to me, but for the most part, after I'm in big groups of people, I need to like be by myself and recharge. So my biggest takeaway from the amazing, incredible places that I've posted from, is that do not sell yourself short. Get out there, go see something, go somewhere that you've never been before, and fully be present and fully immerse yourself in the experience, to be thankful for what you have. And if you don't like what you have, when you come back, change it and make a plan. Boundaries are key, routine is key, and gratitude and just being fully present in the moment, because that's all there is in that moment in time, and it doesn't ever exist again after that. So all of those fun moments and fun times that I just would go and get to take a moment in or have an experience, that's it, right? So I will be making more content. I know that I owe you guys some journal prompts. I have no idea if anyone's really doing them or if there's beneficial to anyone, but I made the commitment. So I will make sure that I film some more of those this weekend and this week. And I'm super excited for all that's to come. And all that's to come that I know about, or I think I know about, and all that's to come that I have no idea. Literally no idea. You never know what's just around the corner. We don't know what, life holds for us. None of those things. So I will talk to you all soon. Happy to be home. And I don't know. Tune in, check out my Substack, all the things. Bye.